Today, 卡乱说, we're going to talk about something else, okay? We're also going to try something different, okay? You will actually know when the video proceed, all right? So, today, I'm going to answer some of the questions from my fan page. Some people recently sent me some questions and asked me about, Kenny, could you share some tips on how you learn English? I do have some tips, but I try to conclude it. I have 3 tips for the people who need to learn English or who want to learn English. My first tip, you have to stop thinking English as a subject. But how does that come from? Because in Taiwan, when we were students, we always need to study English. So we always thinking about English as a subject. And we always studied about it. And we always judge people's English based on the grade that you got from the test. So for so many years, we have been doing this for so many years. So in our mind, we already think English is always a subject to study about. But the truth is, no. English is a language, just like Chinese. It's a language. We use language as a tool. We use those tools to communicate with people. I speak Chinese with people because I want to send my message to that person. English is no otherwise. When the time you want to speak English, you just want to send a message to that person and let that person understand what you're talking about. So it's not a subject. It's not a test. It's simply just to speak with that person in English. So this is actually the way that I want to actually share with people is, if you're always thinking about English as a subject, you will always try to start to memorize vocabulary. Focus on the grammar. Some people might say to me, hey, come on, vocabulary and grammar, that's really important. I totally agree. I don't say I don't agree. I agree. But don't focus on that part too much. If you use it as a tool, then you will not thinking about English as a subject anymore. Then you will start to what? Yeah, to use it all the time. That's my first tip. Second tip is be confident. Believe yourself. Don't be afraid. You know, most of the time, when I'm teaching students, every time they're speaking English with me, they all seem very nervous. They always seem very shy. Don't be. Don't be nervous. Don't be shy. Because why do you need to be shy? Why do you need to be nervous? Have you ever seen a foreigner try to speak Chinese with us? If you never, then I can tell you. They try to speak so hard in Chinese just in order to communicate with us. When it's time to speak Chinese, do you think we will laugh at them? Do you think we will think that his or her Chinese is really bad? No, we won't. Because those foreigners, Chinese is not their mother tongue. It's not their first language. So they try so hard to speak the same language with us. We actually feel that, wow, that's amazing. So exactly comes to the foreigner, how they see us when the time we speak English. They will not laugh at you. So why would you be afraid? Why would you be shy? Don't. Speak up. Even though you make mistakes, it's okay. Making mistakes will help you to improve. So next time, you know, I know last time I used this sentence and that was wrong. So this time, I won't make the same mistakes again. So I think making mistake is good. It's really, really useful. It will really help you in speaking English. So don't be afraid anymore. My third tip: practice, practice, practice. Very important. That's why I say 3 times. You have to practice. Every time if you're learning anything, not just only English, anything that you're trying to learn, you always have to practice. English will not be the exception. You also need to practice. The more you practice, the more familiar that you know how to use English or speak English. So don't doubt yourself. Start to practice. Practice is very, very important for every English learners. If you don't practice, you never know what you make mistake. You want to learn how to speak English, but you never speak English, then how can you learn? This is somehow I don't get it. People want to learn how to speak English, but they never speak English. Then how can you learn? Right? It's exactly the same thing. You want to learn how to swim. You never go to the swimming pool. Then how can you learn swimming? So English is the same thing. You want to learn how to speak English, but if you never speak English, then how can you learn? So start to practice. Maybe some people will say, but I don't really know where to practice or who I can practice with. Well, my personal experience, when I was in Canada, for the first few months, every day I talked to myself in English. I practiced English with myself. And it's true. Don't laugh. It's true. I really, really talked to myself in English when I was in Canada for the first few months. Maybe you think that's kind of like stupid. Well, but you don't really find anybody to practice. Or come to see me. We can have a conversation class, then you can practice with me. So here are my 3 tips for the people who ask me those questions on my fan page. And those are my answers. 1, you stop thinking English as a subject again. 2, don't be afraid. Be confident. Believe yourself. 3, practice, practice, practice. Those are the 3 tips for the people who want to learn how to speak English. So, if you like it, please leave the comments down below and tell me how you feel, how you think. You like it? please give us a thumbs up and subscribe our 卡老乱说. We will actually be much appreciated. So, 卡老乱说, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.